There was a lot of hype for the Chicago Bears entering their Week 8 game against the Washington Commanders, as Jayden Daniels and the Commanders are 5-2. The Bears are 9-5 in their last 14 on a 3-game winning streak. Top 5 defense, progressing offense, and obviously Caleb Williams. But the Commanders have Jayden Daniels, who won 5 of the first 6 Offensive Rookie of the Weeks in the NFL, which is a fan vote, by the way. But he's still playing pretty good, and it's obviously sparked the debate that if the Bears should have taken Daniels or Williams. We're finally going to find out who should have been the better quarterback in this upcoming draft. But with the new Jayden Daniels injury news, things get a little interesting in Washington. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Tune in for today's preview of Bears versus Commanders in Week 8. And before we begin today's show, hit that like button if you're excited that the Bears are back playing football off their bye, along with commenting your score prediction for the Week 8 game against the Washington Commanders in the comment section below. And if you're a Bears fan and you love free Bears news and content, make sure to hit that subscribe button with notifications to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and notifications. So let's just jump into it. Obviously, the big thing everyone's looking out for is Caleb Williams versus Jayden Daniels, which this past week, Jayden Daniels against the Carolina Panthers in Washington's crushing win over the Carolina Panthers 40-7. Jayden Daniels left the game very early, only 6 passing yards due to a rib injury. It looked pretty serious. He looked uncomfortable. Obviously, that is something you need every single second. You're breathing, you're moving, everything. You feel it. No people with broken ribs. Apparently, it's not a very good time. I haven't had any, knock on wood, and I hope you haven't had any either. But Jayden Daniels is now questionable for this upcoming Sunday's game. If it's not broken ribs, which it sounds like they're not, he probably will play, but he'll be extra padded up, and we'll see how that impacts his game. But him and Caleb Williams are going neck and neck right now for who's the better quarterback, because they were back the number 1 and number 2 picks. And if you look at the breakdown on the chart, Caleb Williams versus Jayden Daniels, Williams with 130 completions on 199 attempts, a little over 1,300 passing yards, 9 passing touchdowns, 169 rushing, 5 turnovers with an 88.7 passer rating, 120 over the last 3 weeks, by the way. A 4-2 record with Jayden Daniels as a starter, a 5-2 record, 125 completions on 166 attempts, over 1,400 yards passing, 6 passing touchdowns, 322 rushing yards, and 2 turnovers with a 107.1 passer rating. Obviously, these two are the future of the NFL. They're going to be duking it out. They're going to be going against each other. But I just want to say this real quick. When I hear that everyone's like, Jayden Daniels has better stats, and you know what? He has one more win. First of all, we were on a bye, so put that one out the window, because the Bears are definitely going to win this upcoming Sunday against the Commanders, right? Here's the thing, is that the Commanders' wins have all come against bad teams as well. The Carolina Panthers, 1 win. They beat the Browns, 1 win. They beat the Cardinals, 2 wins. The Bengals, I believe 2 wins. I didn't check. I'm sorry. And then the terrible New York Giants. I mean, come on. And they barely beat the Giants, by the way. And then they also gave up 33 to the struggling Bengals. Overall, I mean, the Bengals are getting a little bit better. But overall, they played them when these teams were bad. I'm not worried about the Washington Commanders just yet. I mean, if everyone's going to throw the argument that the Bears have beaten bad teams, that's what they should do. At least the Bears have dominated in those games. The Commanders only dominated in 1 game that they've won, that I'm looking at on the scoreboard right now. And they've lost to the Ravens, and they lost to the Bucs. They lost to 2 teams that could potentially go to the Super Bowl this year. They're not ready. And I'm not saying the Bears are ready either. But we're going to truly find out who the better quarterback is, because we played against the same type of competition. The offenses have been practically the same, almost the same stats. It's going to be a lot of fun. Obviously, we're rooting for Caleb Williams here, but something to keep in mind entering this game. Going quickly over the offense for the Chicago Bears, obviously, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Keenan Allen, Roma Odunze, and DeAndre Swift, along with a top 15 offensive line over the last 3 weeks, 22nd overall, is having good progression. I mean, DJ Moore is averaging over 10 yards per catch with over 300 receiving yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. Cole Kmet over 11 yards averaging with 3 receiving touchdowns. Roma Odunze with over 14 yards per catch, 1 touchdown, 246 yards. Keenan Allen had that huge 2-touchdown game in London, and he has 193 receiving yards. And DeAndre Swift has come on the scene as a player. 91 carries, 325 yards, 3.6 average, but he's averaging 5.4 yards per carry over the last 3 weeks and 3 rushing touchdowns. Not only that, 19 receptions, 193 receiving yards, and a 10.2 average. This offense is clicking. Shane Waldron's opened up the playbook. Now the offense is rested up. They've gotten things together. They've gotten to watch film. They're relaxed. They're walking into a Washington Commanders game, which was flexed, by the way, to 325 if you didn't know that. So don't be tuning in at noon. We're going to have our live stream going, by the way. Don't you guys worry. But the thing is that this Bears offense is looking great. They're progressing. A lot of these stats came in the last couple of weeks. Caleb didn't even throw. He threw almost every single yard in his first 2 games, in his third game. And then he did it again. So he's progressing great. So I'm not worried about that. The Commanders' offense, though, they're pretty darn good. They just put up 40 against the Carolina Panthers. Terry McLaurin, 356 yards on 29 receptions, 4 receiving touchdowns. Zach Ertz with no receiving touchdowns, but a 11-yard per average catch. Brian Robinson, 73 carries for 325 yards, almost 5 yards per carry, and 5 rushing touchdowns, almost 100-yard receiving and a receiving touchdown. Austin Eckler, who's been great for them, 6 yards per carry average, 1 touchdown, but his receptions is great. 198 receiving yards. So he's a dual running back as well. And then they have a top 10 offensive line throughout the first 7 weeks. Just want to put this into perspective. Again, both losses, Jayden Daniels was running through his life. So you got to get a lot of pressure on this kid, especially with this offensive line, and the Bears will be just fine. Now, quickly, before we get into the defensive review, I would like to thank today's sponsor, Authentico Organic Tequila, a Chicago-based startup and family-owned. Tequila is made in Guadalajara, Mexico. It is additive-free and USDA 100% organic. Comes in 3 great flavors. Go to the link in the description now to find Authentico near you and enhance your game day with whether it be a Paloma, margarita, ranch water, or just a straight shot. This stuff is smooth as butter. Go and enjoy it and go to the link in the description now. Quickly looking at Washington's defense, not worried about them at all. Ranked 22nd overall, and that's after dominating against the Carolina Panthers. So they weren't good entering that game, averaging over 350 yards per game of total offense, 216 passing, 137 rushing. They also just lost Jonathan Allen for the rest of the season, it looks like. So they're not looking too great at the moment from a pressure perspective. Yes, they still have pain, but you know, it's not the same as it's going to be as a 2-headed monster. They're 19th ranked against the pass. They're 21st against the rush. Any chance for DeAndre Swift to start opening things up, the Bears need to do that early and often to help expand this offense. But Washington has also allowed the 21st most points at any team in the NFL. And from the Bears defensive review, they're looking great so far. There looks like they're getting Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, and Tyreek Stevenson back this week. They also are all healed up. They've had time. And they're a top 5 unit right now at the moment. 12 straight games with 21 or less allowed. And it looks like they're going to do it again against the Washington Commanders. So I'm excited for this upcoming game, guys. I think that the Bears have this one in the bag at the moment. The Bears defense needs to just hold Jayden Daniels. That secondary needs to come in healthy. These guys need to get adjusted again to that time because, you know, now you're going out east. Bears have to be smart about this one and get adjusted early, but I'm feeling pretty good entering this game. My 3 keys to the game. Number 1, keep a spy on Jayden Daniels. Kid can clearly scramble with all those rushing yards. We need our secondary of Kyler Gordon or Josh Blackwell, the 2 fastest guys on the team, in order to be back and not let him break it out. They need to play a linebacker role, play no soft zone, play man-to-man coverage, and we'll be just fine. Number 2, get the ball to DeAndre Swift early and often. 120-plus total offense in the last 3 games. Keeps it going against a below-average defense. Things will look just fine for this team, and we could see 3 games in a row with 35-plus scored. And then also score first. I'm tired of the Bears not scoring first. Put pressure on Washington quickly. Let them fold, along with defensive pressure as well, and we'll be just fine and win this ball game. But bear down, baby. As always, I love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below. And thank you, as always, for tuning in to just another year of Chicago Bears. But I'm feeling good entering this game, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section below with those score predictions, along with hitting that like button if you're excited that Chicago Bears football is back. If you're a Bears fan, new to the channel, and want free Bears news and content, hit that subscribe button with notifications, or just hit the subscribe button. You'll be back. Don't worry. But with that, thank you, as always, for tuning into this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Brody, and as always, bear down, baby.